And Voices is about providing not a memory of something in the past. Voices is about providing a living memorial. And to do so through the stories of those individual people. The stories not as told, as Mary said to me earlier, by historians, but as told by their family, by the people that knew them. You see, in the end, what I think is that in the love that is expressed in that act of memorial, that is part of, and an essential part of the answer to this. Because that love, in the end, is the thing that remains. What happened to you happened, in a sense, to all of us together, not an attack on America, an attack on us all. What we build out of this has got to be something worthwhile, something that lasts, something that is a fitting memorial to those that died. So that's how I saw it then, and that's how I see it still. And for me, who then went on to take political decisions, some of which were deeply controversial and still deeply controversial, I think the only way you live your life properly after this, if you've been involved in whatever way as someone in such a world-changing event, is to recognize the world has indeed changed and that our duty is to respond to it and to change the world for good and not for ill. And that, I think, is what Voices is about. It's why I'm very honored to come here this evening, and I feel a deep sense of privilege to be with you. Thank you.
John Micheletti is here somewhere, but John created this. It's called a flag of honor, and I'll just show you a glance of it here. When you look at it closely, you see that there are really no stripes painted on this flag. The flag has the 90 countries' victims' names all sequenced as a way for us to always remember, and it really says a lot, I think, about us coming together as a world community around 9/11, and we hope you would take this back with you and remember tonight's event.
There's a school in Seattle, Washington that's led by a woman who actually put together some of the artwork that the children had created. And so every year we give Building Bridges Awards, and this is, I think, so appropriate for the wonderful remarks that Tony Blair had tonight. But the inscription is, every day we're given stones. What do we build? Is it a bridge or is it a wall? And so I'd like to present this award to Tony Blair for his wonderful work and uniting our world and the wonderful work that he's doing to help so many people around the world.
I'm very honored to be here with Mr. Blair. As I said earlier, when we were in another room with all the family members, it seems strange that I traveled from London and he traveled from Luxembourg to be here.
This program is meant to underscore that the victims of 9/11 could have been any one of us who went to work or boarded a plane that morning. Recognizing ourself in this space will reinforce a key museum message that an act of terrorism anywhere is ultimately an assault on everyone.
I can't think of a better organization. I can't think of a better cause. This has grown from an acorn into an enormous tree. You are still growing. You are still teaching. You are still helping each other. And you are still helping the rest of us to understand and to remember and never to forget and to teach our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you, Frank, to Governor Kane, to Mayor Cahill, to Chris Palladino, to everyone in our community who joins with the Fetchits and with Voices of 9/11 in remembering those who died that day. And I am so appreciative and admiring of Voices of 9/11 for keeping alive their memory, for knowing as only parents of one of those could possibly know, what it means to remember and to preserve forever the objects and the pictures and the voices of remembrance. And you've done an amazing thing. And speaking for my university and for my town, we're very pleased that you've done it right here in New Brunswick. You moved Voices of 9/11 here several years ago. And as you mentioned, it has provided opportunities for interns from our School of Social Work, for work-study students, and the exhibit here, of course, has been done in collaboration with the Brodsky Center. So we are very proud to be a part of that. You mentioned rightly the attention, the knowledge, the feelings that today's college students have about our global society, in significant part because of 9/11. But it's important to remember that today's freshmen, 7,000 of whom we welcomed at Rutgers last week, were just fourth graders when that occurred. And for them, and really for all of us, the critical work that you're performing in keeping alive memories is terribly important. I'm so proud that you're doing it in New Brunswick and with Rutgers. Mary and Frank, thank you. Congratulations.
We're seeing a lot of concerns in our work with children that didn't know their father on 9/11. And so how can we manage the images, the access to information that they have, and how can we help them heal so that they're living productive, resilient lives?
Someone has to tell you 51 times their lost story, so be it. Because on the 51st time, it may feel so real to them that they really, really get it. And instead of saying, we live in a get over it, move on society. You get 3 days off from work, and after this, we figure 10 years, come on, and people say, it's enough already. You gotta move on. Move on. This is my life. So one of the things I love, and I always tell children, I love meeting people like Mary and Karen and Bridget, Scotty, people that take a loss and make something of it. Now, when I'm in the loss, please don't tell me I'm going to make something of it when I'm in it, because I may throw my book at you. I don't want to hear that they're in a better place in the life. I don't want to hear that the sun will come out tomorrow. And also don't tell me that people have it worse than me. Don't minimize my loss. Just honor my loss. Let me tell you my story, and then I can honor your loss and listen to your story, human to human.
The Living Memorial Project we launched in 2006. And we're working with families, rescue workers, and survivors to document their story. That's a process. We've collected over 45,000 images. We're meeting with families around the country and, as I mentioned, around the world. And the thing that's interesting is that the project and the work that we do is really guided by the people that we serve. And so we've even taken the lead from the family members on the kinds of things that they'd like us to capture digitally. Photographs, written materials. We've photographed everything from street signs to quilts to portraits. Some people are very organized and bring it in a booklet. Some people have boxes in their trunk, and so literally they can fill, you know, a conference table with all of the things that they've brought. And so that's really been shaped by the families. And the Living Memorial is a good example of how we work with people and engage them where they are, how we involve them in the process, you know, how we prepare them in advance, work with them through the process, and then based on what we assess as their needs, what they verbalize as their needs, having really good outcomes and moving forward.
In the name of honoring these heroes, we need respect, embrace. Sing with me. Don't laugh at me, don't call me names. Don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we're all the same. Someday, we'll all have perfect wings. Try it with me, don't laugh at me. Come on, New Yorkers. I'm a New Yorker, don't let me down. Here we go. Don't laugh at me, don't call me names. Don't call me names, don't get your pleasure. Don't get your pleasure from my pain, from my pain. In God's eyes, in God's eyes, we're all the same. Someday we'll all have perfect wings. Don't laugh at me. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. It is of thee, it is to thee that I sing. Thank you, Tony Blair. Thank you, heroes. Thank you all. One more time, love between the brothers and the sisters all over this land. Thank you so much.